What up, gamers? Spencer here, and welcome back to Frontline 2 Exilium. So yeah, let's continue the story over here. The PS1-3 next. Got a ways to go. Alright, let's do it. Let's hide here for the moment. As the Varieger camp descends into chaos, Perry crawls into a shady corner. Where did she go? Can't you even catch that little runt? Now she's gone. Go find her now. Such easy prey can't be allowed to slip away like this. So is this how she got to the camp? A familiar scene plays out, and it triggers Perry's memory of the night she was deceived into breaking into the Varieger camp. Oh, okay. So that's what happened. However, she knows that her greatest obstacle right now is not the Variegers, but rather hiding is pointless. I will soon delete this portion of her memory, just as I did before. Although the gateway is to jumpstart the simulation program still exists, the entire sequence has been altered with the voice's disappearance and Springfield's intervention. Of course, Springfield has noticed it all. No simulations are safe anymore. The moment Springfield defeats her is the moment this portion of her memory will be overwritten. Before she can try to catch her breath in her damage-ridden body, Perry immediately senses Springfield closing in. She looks around, trying to find an escape. Here, in the opposite direction of Springfield and the autonomous sentries she controls, Perry spots a small, jagged hole. I could probably squeeze through. Perry nimbly maneuvers her way through the narrow alleys. Yet, as she follows her memory forward, she finds herself in a dead end where a passageway should have been. Only now does Perry realize that this virtual space constructed by the simulation program has also begun to crumble. In this space, you can never defeat me. This way, this program of yours was implanted into the override system was quite clever, but it's only a matter of time before you're completely broken. Standing in the middle of the alley, Springfield once again points a rifle at Perry. I suggest you give up. After all, I've already eliminated the vulnerability who's been helping you. No matter how you run your simulations, it'll always come back to this. Springfield inches towards Perry. Let me ask again. Who were you talking to that night? Perry lifts her head and responds with total silence. Perry stares straight into Springfield's eyes, trying to muster her last bit of strength in an attempt to raise her gun. Bang. Without something. Looks like she got shot. Perry collapses. Without any suspense, Perry's core is once again destroyed by Springfield. Perry collapses to the ground. Her body, along with the entire simulated space, gradually shatters to their original form, data fragments. Cleanup complete. Commencing anomaly reports upload. Once again, red light flashes before her eyes. Anomaly upload failed. The same results again. No matter. It's just squashing a bug. There's still plenty of time for that. Commencing system maintenance. Springfield stares at the broken body of Perry lying at her feet as the simulated environment crumbles around her. Everything is reduced into data fragments and swallowed up by the endless digital torrent. Data erase. Okay. That was a fast one. There's another story-only stage. I'm back, Commander. Interested in seeing the goodies I snatched from my deal? Of course. Springfield projects the visual onto the screen. It's security footage. The camera is pointed right at the door covered by the curtain at Jacob's place. Under the dim light, Jacob lifts the curtain and pushes the door open. Right here. Springfield pauses the footage and zooms in on the exact moment the narrow door gate is fully opened. After enhancing the image, Perry's petite silhouette is revealed from behind the gate. I immediately look at the time displayed on the screen. It was the very night that Perry went missing. The timing also matches up. As expected, The surveillance being damaged was just an excuse. Jacob hid this record because it contains information unfavorable to him. This is something crucial. How did you get your hands on this, Springfield? Over the years, I have come to the realization while operating as the manager of the Suchero that while businessmen may appear friendly and cooperative on the surface, they can often be the fiercest competitors of one another as well. And intel just so happens to be the most potent weapon in such competitions. The same rule applies here in the contamination zones. Digging for information is my specialty. At times, gathering intelligence does not require one to be present. You just need to find the right person. So, how much did you pay Polanitsa? Springfield smiles gently. She risks being exposed as a mole to get you this record. It must have cost a fortune. That's not the case. Springfield simply shakes her head. Only peddlers would jump at petty profits like this. Competent brokers will seek out opportunities for cooperation. Naturally, someone on the level of Miss Polanitsa knows that as well. Oh, my bad. In fact, I helped her catch a little mole hiding in her team free of charge as a gesture of goodwill. Wow, a mole? The competition along underground brokers is really complicated. It's nothing compared to your accomplishments. I'm more curious about is how you put this all together. I gave Springfield a puzzled glance, but she doesn't seem to have any intention of offering an explanation. Instead, she merely blinks and smiles back at me. Oh my, Commander, the story's only halfway through. Are you sure you want me to reveal the answer now? Let's save it for later when we both have some free time for a thorough explanation, shall we? After all, a story hinges on the suspense to entice readers to flip through its pages. Even I would like for you to keep your anticipation intact, Commander. Seeing Springfield's sly grin, I can't help but let out a deep sigh. Alright then, keep your secrets. I guess I can stop worrying about Jacob now. Just relax and continue to enjoy your vacation, just like you did at the Platinum Resort. It's perfectly okay. However, I kindly ask you to be patient for a little longer. Jacob's connections are difficult to sift through. Before the tea party begins officially, I still need to pick the right coffee beans. Dang it! Late at night, as Jacob is about to enjoy a nightcap at his private bar, he receives a message that makes him slam his fist on the table. Polanitsa gave better terms. My client thinks we need to reevaluate both of your offers, Drachin. Dang, Polanitsa. The cold yet tense sentences from Drachin makes Jacob lose all of his usual composure. Better terms. Who does she think she is, daring to outbid me at my own game? Polanitsa. You kicked me out of the convoy over something that trivial years ago. And now you're back with more wealth and influence, trying to corner me again with absurd bids like this? Go to heck, you female dog. Jacob downs his glass of wine. Barely managing to regain his coolness, he pulls out the list he sent to Drachin in the afternoon. How much should I quote then? What about additional terms? Flipping through the documents, Jacob quickly calculates all the potential price adjustments. No matter how he crunches the numbers, the ideal profit still remains an unsightly number too hard to stomach. No. What's the point of driving the price down like this? Even when you snatch it from those bandits with the costs close to nothing, it still can't go any lower. Weren't you the one who paraded around your merchant's bottom line? You want me out? On what grounds? With that kind of firepower, those brokers were doomed from the start. Their death was only a matter of time, and besides that, I wasn't the one who killed them. So, you just stood by and watch? You can't expect me to fight off the elites on my own. I didn't have many men with me either. Playing the saints in the contamination zones will only cost your life. We snatch your supplies, our costs drop, we can afford to give these settlements better deals, and our people get to live better lives. Simple as that. Oh, my bad. You think your only fault was not playing the saint? Jacob, we're not philanthropists, but what you're doing is dangerously close to the bottom line. Now leave. You're not cut out to be a broker. Years ago, after tasting the benefits of trade, Jacob accumulated more lost objects to barter with brokers, ultimately joining Polonitsa's crew as a helper. For a very long time after that, he worked it hard and rejoiced in every clean loaf of bread he earned through hard work. The dilated pupils no longer frightened him, and he no longer drooled over basic sustenance like starving beasts. Like a starving beast, Jacob was content. Now he could look at the goods and think about what price to sell them at tomorrow. Until the day he was kicked out of the convoy, Polonitsa coldly staring at him. With Polonitsa coldly staring at him, Jacob remembered the very first broker he ever met. His wrinkle-covered eyes were so clouded compared to Polonitsa. At his final meal before leaving, Jacob felt for the first time that the bread in his hand was so coarse that it was hard to swallow. When it comes to yourself, what bottom lines do you even respect? Right, I'm not cut out to be a broker, because I'm definitely not an idiot still crawling around in the dust like you lot. All these years, Jacob often recalls those eyes from his memory. He angrily throws his terminal to the side. The stemware, filled with wine, shatters on the ground with a loud crash. Red liquid slowly spreads across the floor. Jacob stares at the blood, like Hugh, and suddenly calms down. That's right. How could I forget? A broker fights with his battles in many ways, and being a supplier isn't the only way to prove your influence. We have far more methods we can rely on. Isn't that right, Polonitsa? Smiling sinisterly, Jacob retrieves another wine glass and slowly fills it with the red liquor. He phones his secretary as he downs the glass. Listen, send Polonitsa an invitation on my behalf. And there we go. Another one done. This time we got a battle on this one. Alright guys, we're moving things along, man. Feel like we're making very good progress. A new day dawns with another round of the rally. The absence of a few participants from yesterday hasn't shaken the excitement for the rest of the Zeman rally. Please register your name, number of vehicles, and license numbers over there. After you're done, please find a staff member to assist you in installing the compass system. Hey, what are you pushing me for? Your team's over there. Dear participants, please form a line. Try not to overcrowd the area. As the staff at the registration booth struggles to maintain order, a commotion breaks out in the crowd, and the rowdy brokers suddenly make way for someone. With her coat flaring behind her, Polonitsa strides forth along the path the crowd has parted for her. Hey, Polonitsa, did you say you're gonna sit this one out? Change your mind already? Well, I did want to watch from the sidelines. You know, it is interesting to see Polonitsa again. Like, she was just kind of like there one time at the beginning of the game. And now it's cool to see her again have more presence in the story. Like, she's definitely more... she feels more important now and more engaged in the story than before. But a friend of mine told me there's a big deal to be made here, so I have no choice but to come. While answering an acquainted broker's question, Polonitsa casually tosses a list at the registration booth. My team's waiting at the starting line. I'll leave you guys to do all the inspections and installations. Please wait. Just as Polonitsa is about to leave, a voice calls out to her. She turns around, only to see Jacob in his suit, leisurely strolling toward her. Glad to see you around. I was worried you wouldn't accept my invitation. How could I not? An old friend hosting his first fair kindly invited me to a race. I kinda had to show up and support him, right? It's very heartwarming to hear you refer to me that way. Even backstabbing stories or backstabbing snakes can find a way to coexist with each other. Who's to say us underground brokers can't find a balance? Despite the smile on her face, Polonitsa's cold gaze stands out like a sharp blade tearing through everything. Disturbed by such a sight, Jacob tidies up his attire and smiles back. So, you finally accepted that I'm a broker now. There are no entry exams to become a broker. As long as you supply goods and make profits, you're one of us. With how much your business has grown, everyone's gathering around this fair you host. You cannot deny this association, even if you want to. That is pretty fair of Polonitsa, you know? Like, they had their differences, but, you know, if as long as you get the results, you're one of them. Why would I deny it? Actually, I've always been grateful to you for giving me a push years ago. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to find the answers to the questions buried in my heart, let alone my desires. After all, aspirations are what kept a man moving forward. Without them, I wouldn't have. Jacob goes no further, merely spreading out his arms out dramatically. Polonitsa looks around, seeing all the hustle and bustle surrounding them. With the rally race about to begin, there are still more people rushing toward the registration booth from afar. Watching the oncoming crowd, Jacob lets out a light chuckle, while slowly shaking his head. They too are merely pursuing their desires, but that path is never an easy one. Dealing in life and death, bearing the corresponding risk. This is what being a broker entails. However, to become more powerful means having more choices. Just like you and I no longer need to take part in this perilous challenge personally. Jacob speaks with such calmness as if merely discussing a meal he's left unfinished. Polonitsa stares at her impeccably dressed acquaintance. After a moment of silence, she lets out a quiet sigh. Even if I'm not behind the wheel personally, I need to check on my team now. Be my guest. I wish your team good luck. By the starting line, staff members finishing installing the compass system on the vehicles of Polonitsa's team. Soon, following the signature gunshot, Polonitsa's fleet sets off with great fanfare. Meanwhile, the 4 new members scattered on board the jeep also begins their operations. Hey, Kukai is here. Belka and I will help guard the vehicle in case of attacks. Sabrina, investigate the compass system with Mailing as quickly as you can. Sitting on the passenger seat, Sabrina helps Mailing connect the terminal used for data processing into the system. Don't worry, Mailing. We're ready to hack into it. Time to contact the commander. In the back seat, Mailing has already established comms with the commander. Can you hear me, Commander? We're in the middle of the rally. Sabrina will patch into level 2 and analyze on the onboard compass system from there. All data will be synchronized with you in real time. Alright, let's get started. Is this the battle? Yeah, this is the battle here. Because I noticed the enemies were robots, so that means it's hacking time. Ta-da! Connection successful. Time to start troubleshooting. Yep, let's begin. Alright, here we go. Yeah, it is starting to clear up now with the whole story with Perry. You know, she was lured into the camp. I mean, here's the thing. I guess it makes sense, like, why she's all, like, corrupted in a way. But at the same time, like, it seems like it happened at the resort, right? Where she had those simulations like that. Because I'm guessing those simulations, man, they're like kind of like dreams in a way. Just being like rewritten. Or is it a thing where like I'm gonna guess that when she like shot everyone back at part 1, that simulation or dream happened like after she went missing. I want to guess, you know, everything after the first day of the rally. After that is when the dream began. That's when she got, I guess, hacked. When she got her neural overwrite starting. And that, you know, the memories started back at the resorts when she shot everyone. But yeah, slowly piecing things together. I'm not sure if I'm right or not. I'm not sure. After a round of rapid scans, Sabrina disconnects herself from level 2. The comm line returns only silence, briefly broken up by Mailing's frantic typing. Mailing, Sabrina, how's the situation? Sorry, Commander. We managed to lock onto an abnormal data stream originating from the compass during our scans. All live coordinates broadcasted by the vehicle go through it, and then to multiple additional nodes. But their countermeasures are extremely sophisticated. Sabrina and I tried several times to pinpoint the receiver to no avail. Even you can't track it down? Yes, this is very unusual. It's way beyond what the usual Varyagers are capable of. Maybe a mysterious technical genius lurking inside of Varyagers, or Jacob's team, is at the root of this. Huh. Anyway, I'll keep trying to track them down, but I can't make any guarantees on when. Ah! Mei Ling's voice is abruptly interrupted by an explosion. Whoa, sit tight, Mei Ling, watch out! Big sis! Varyuger ambush spotted, 1 o'clock. There you are. All hands, prepare for combat. We're at the fight now, Commander. We'll call you later. The comm ends in the middle of a gunfire, and engine roars. I double-check the message Mei Ling sent me, and the data returned by brief. Technical know-how far above their usual levels, modus operandi inconsistent with their past behaviors. Seems like these old friends of mine have suddenly changed. Setting down the terminal cluttered with information, I look out the endless wasteland plains. Violent gales sweep up, clouds of yellow sand, obscuring the sky above and the distant horizon. Even the sharpest hunter will find discerning the path forward. In such obscurity, an almost impossible task, I let out a heavy sigh. Could it be that, in places I cannot see, the Varyagers are going through some drastic internal changes? It's Palanitsa. I think we should go with them. Alright, don't be so stubborn. Just drink this first. Palanitsa sits down by Aminda, hands her a glass of milk, and passes the little girl on her fluffy head. Man, she is a little girl, man. Because at this bar, I'm sure like normally the adults would drink, you know, like liquor and wine and all that stuff. But yeah, she got milk. You're shorter than even my seat, yet you're still eager to get shot up along with my team? Was what happened yesterday not thrilling enough for you? It's not like that. The warming, comforting aroma of hot milk waves through the air. Aminda holds up the glass but does not drink it, instead staring intently at Palanitsa. Yes, what happened yesterday was dangerous, and I indeed got scared. But I can't cower because of that. Since I've decided to become a broker, I'll need to muster the courage to face Varyagers head-on. If I let this one incident intimidate and startle me, how am I ever supposed to grow my business in the contamination zones in the future? Palanitsa laughs cheerfully. Don't worry, it's never too late for you to chase those glories. I believe that when the moment comes, you will have become a formidable broker. But until then, let us adults take care of this, my young... Atalanta? What's Atalanta? Palanitsa reassuringly pats Aminda's shoulders. Moreover, this rally has become a crucial bargaining chip in my business. I need it to prove my worth. But, Palanitsa, my partner and many others lost their lives. I want to make it right with my own hands. Clutching the glass in her hands, Aminda slightly lowers her head. My partner, I will never forget her words before she left. She simply wanted those points to exchange for intel on popular oddities in the upper rung society of the White Zones. That way, her relatives and friends living in the mines would know what to dig for. Aminda's eyes redden, and she sniffs. She didn't deserve this outcome. Aminda, you're a kind soul. That is a good thing. But as a broker, you must remember the rules of the black market. There is no such thing as justice or fairness in this world, only survival of the fittest and unspoken boundaries. And those who break the rules shall face punishment. Right, that was it. Okay. Nice. It looks like next one is just a cutscene only. If I'm just pressing confirm. Alright. And here we go. Just keep on rolling, man. Around noon, I decide to pass the time with the Cicero dolls at the fair while waiting for a reply. At last, my terminal suddenly vibrates repeatedly. We got the guy you're looking for. Check attachment, Commander. Kukai. Mission complete. Please see the attachment for action log, Xiaohui. I opened the attachments and verified information sent back with Springfield. Looks like we've got everything we need. Oh my, you seem very eager about it, Commander. Springfield smiles, and turns around while clapping her hands. Alright everyone, Soichiro Squad's break time is over. It's time to prepare for the tea party. The trio, who has been impatiently waiting at the nearby booths, quickly gathers around. Finally ready? Manager, Shakiri's makeup will be ruined if we don't start now. What kind of preparations are needed this time, Commander? Let me think. I believe a light roast is enough for our guest today. You girls are making yourselves sound like the bad guys with lines like that. Would you like to be a bad guy, Commander? How could I possibly miss out on such a wonderful opportunity to join in on the fun? Since everyone's ready, I'll contact our supplier now. Under the watch of the Soichiro dolls and I, Springfield dials a familiar number. Greetings. The Soichiro is ready. Please hand the invitation to that guest. It's time to sign the contract for this deal. Got it. I hope you can deliver me a satisfactory result. Having worked together for so long, has the Soichiro ever let you down, Miss Drachin? Hey. Oh wow. We're in contact with her too. That was a really fast one. That was probably the shortest one. That was like, what, 2 minutes worth, I think? Wow. I mean, I'm not complaining, man. We're getting through this really fast now. I feel like I was able to make great progress in this video so far. As the taste of black tea settles on my tongue, I see Jacob brush in with his secretary. Since we are the only customers left in the cafe, Jacob quickly directs his attention towards us, but a look of caution and confusion naturally crawls onto his face as he notices the presence of Polonitsa. Looks like our conversation will have to end here for now. Right. Remember to come for a drink when you're done. Polonitsa stands up calmly and leaves in a carefree manner. As she walks past Jacob, I see her stop for a moment, and then Jacob's expression becomes even more gloomy. Crazy woman. You'll regret this later. Jacob curses softly and moves to find another table to sit at. Mr. Jacob, why don't you come over here? Excuse me, but I have a business to settle with a client today. Sorry for not being able to accommodate you both. So you have a habit of doing business across tables, Mr. Jacob. Not that I mind it. Pardon? It seems Miss Drachin has a good sense of confidentiality and did not reveal our identities to you. Drachin? Drachin's client? Is you? That's impossible. Numbers like these are way out of the league for a mere bounty hunters like you. You're right, but just because I can't doesn't mean my commissioner can't either. Don't believe me? Why don't you ask Miss Drachin for yourself? I show him the comms interface with Drachin on my terminal screen. No need. I believe you. Jacob quickly adjusts his expression. I noticed that too. He was like smiling now. And takes a seat at the opposite end of the table from me in Springfield. Since you're here for business, why didn't you clarify as such earlier? That would have saved us the trouble of going through an intermediary. Instead of responding to Jacob right away, Springfield smiles and calls Interesi over. There's no need to rush. Our talks today may take a while. Interesi, please prepare something to drink for Mr. Jacob. Oh, look at this. At Springfield's behest, Interesi neatly clears away the tea set used to host Polonitsa. Then she brings some warm coffee for all three of us. Please enjoy, sir. Given the generous terms you offer to us as the host of this fair, we figured we should probably swing by to check on things first. The white zone gazers tend to be more suspicious the wealthier they are. I'm sure Mr. Jacob understands that, right? Of course, of course. Now, please forgive my discourtety from before. I wasn't aware of your circumstances. However, I'm sure you've both seen my offer. If there's something dissatisfactory, we can certainly discuss the terms. Mr. Jacob, as you might have learned from Drachin, Polonitsa has given us better quotes. Truth be told, we just reached a preliminary agreement. With all due respect, Polonitsa may be a surrogate of the brokers, but she's not as powerful as people make her out to be. You probably know that her team is partaking in today's rally. I just checked the logs of the compass system and her team's success signal has disappeared. Chances are, things didn't end well. One could offering better quotes if a broker can deal with basic warrior threats. Even if you sign a contract with her, do you really think she can deliver the goods safely? If the cargo's integrity can't be guaranteed, you will be the one ending up with all your money down the drain. Her team had an accident. Of course, my compass has never failed me. Didn't I also provide you with coordinates before? Alright, I will relay this information situation to my commissioner. However, our meeting today is to discuss another matter. Oh? What business would that be? Perhaps I can be of service. Rather than rushing to respond, I leisurely take a sip of my coffee made from lightly roasted beans, relishing in the refreshing flavor. Jacob, meanwhile, waits patiently and eagerly. It seems that he has fully accepted our identity. Springfield. Yes, Commander. Apologies, my commander is feeling a little tired. I shall take over the rest of the meeting with you. I hope you don't mind. Okay, what is about to happen here? I mean, we just drink coffee, dude. That's supposed to make us feel awake and not tired. Maybe we're just tired of talking now? Jacob smiles, freezes. Of course not. What can I do for you? Our goal is straightforward. We simply require a piece of intel. Remember the doll Perry who accompanied us when we first met? She has disappeared, and we would like to learn her whereabouts. I'm sorry, but my secretary should have already taken care of this matter. He should have told you that I know nothing about it. No need to turn us down so hastily, Mr. Jacob. As you once said, there are no unavailable goods in the black market, only unaffordable prices. So why not hear what we have to bring to the table? You might find your stance to be more flexible than you think. Let me ask you this. What sort of compensation can you offer? Springfield gently blinks. Our silence. What? Our silence regarding a certain secret collaboration between the Varigers and you. Jacob sets down the coffee, the bottom of the cup making a dull thud on the table. Even if you're my potential client, that doesn't give you the right to slander me. Collaboration with the Varigers? Me? I'm just a broker. I don't have what it takes to do that. Is that so? From what we gathered, your influence and means have far surpassed those of average brokers. Springfield turns on the terminal and shows Jacob a report. Over the past years, Brave has been monitoring and documenting Varriger activities in different regions, including the area you originate from. Records point to a sustained pattern of intense Varriger presence in the region. Your competitors have suffered repeated setbacks. Even the brief bounty hunter raids have had little effect on the situation. Yet, beginning at a certain point, your team remained virtually unscathed. Eventually, with other brokers backing out or reducing their activities in the region, you became the kingpin of the area. You even expanded your sphere of influence over the past year. Do you have some kind of magic spell that wards off Varigers? Magic spell? My magic spell is being competent. Picking on the weak is easy. The Varigers know this very well. This place is so full of rare minerals that people won't just stop coming despite knowing the risk. Naturally, the unlucky ones get targeted. That's just how it is. Indeed, you're right. Given the danger, I'm sure these mining teams will purchase some environmental intel from an underground broker who knows the place well before their venture. An underground broker just like you. Your point? The Varigers aren't nails waiting to be hammered. The time-sensitive nature of intel is not something that I have control over. I see. It seems that you are unwilling to be upfront unless we add a little more to our offer. Springfield smiles and gently taps the terminal. The screen flickers on before cutting to some footage of the wilderness. Whoa, look at this background. I don't think I've ever seen this before. Sabrina drags a Variger in front of the camera. This sounds like a Like a scary video, man, like one of those like hostage, like like terrorist videos. This is kind of scary. Whoa, finally caught one. These goblins are so hard to catch. Even the rats in the back alley of the Caldo restaurant don't escape this fast. The captured Variegar struggles to break free from Sabrina's hold. Klukai comes in, deftly yanks on his writhing arm until it is dislocated, and then finally snatches the terminal from his hand. And then shows the terminal to the camera. On the small device, several dots can be seen flickering, the exact coordinates of Polonitsa's team. This compass thing is still transmitting the location of the brokers to the Varigers. Are you seeing this, Commander? As she speaks, Kukai aims her gun at the vehicle not far behind. Following a muzzle flash, the screen on the vehicle shatters, and the positioning device is destroyed. Simultaneously, one of the dots flickering on the terminal disappears. Well then, mission accomplished. Wow. The footage ends. The cafe returns to silence, with Jacob's expression becoming far more sour than before. As I recall, you are the one who demanded that all participants use a compass for positioning tracking under the pretense of avoiding interference, Mr. Jacob. Surely this information being so conveniently in the hands of the Varigers can't be a mere coincidence, right? Of course not. Wow, can you see him? You can see him like sweat here, man. Wow, he's nervous. But clearly, it's the Varigers who hacked into my backend servers. The system was designed to ensure the safety of the participants. I never anticipated it would be turned into a death trap by these thugs, and I'm deeply ashamed of this outcome. Now that I know it poses a danger to us all, we'll shut it down immediately. Before Springfield can stop him, Jacob calls out to his secretary behind him. What are you waiting for? You want the Varigers to kill everyone? Shut this thing down immediately. Yes, sir. The secretary hastily takes out the terminal and frantically taps on it. It's done, sir. With the system turned off, a smile of relief appears on Jacob's face. There you go. Danger to the brokers averted. I can't thank you both enough for your discovery. Rest assured, once the system is down, all coordinates will be deleted as well. Neither we nor the Varigers will be able to use or trace back to the data anymore. Ooh, that's a relief. No need to worry about the safety of the brokers anymore, right, Commander? Yeah, it's a good thing for everyone involved. As a token of gratitude, your doll, Perry, right? Although I don't know her whereabouts, since we almost had a deal, you can let me know if you need any help, and I will send my men to assist you. Jacob smiles again in a friendly manner, but in response, Springfield simply takes a sip of the coffee and sighs helplessly. I've always held the belief that honesty is the one prerequisite for any business partnership. You, however, do not seem to be sufficiently trustworthy partner. Smiling, Springfield picks up the terminal and presses the play button again. On the screen, evidence of Jacob's meeting with Perry is replayed. This is footage of Perry before she went missing. You clearly saw her, yet you refuse to be upfront about it. Do you still want to insist you have nothing to do with her disappearance? Jacob glares at his secretary and looks just as clueless as he is. Thinking back to prior events, he comes to a conclusion. While he successfully planted a mole in Polonitsa's team, his own team has also been infiltrated without his knowledge. Polonitsa. Truth be told, one of your subordinates provided us with far more detailed information than this. However, since we are still doing business, and the commander has instructed us to not embarrass our partner to be too much, if you're willing to come clean about it, then I can make some concessions. Well, I do appreciate Miss Springfield's attitude. Please allow me to clarify the misunderstanding. I did meet Perry that night. She put on a great show on the first day of the rally. Since my team needed an excellent doll like her, I approached her regarding the possibility of a future partnership. However, her whereabouts after our meeting are as such a mystery to you as to me. Man, he's still like trying to evade the whole thing with Perry, man. Trying to come up with excuses. It seems that you are still not satisfied with our offer, but that's fine. Springfield sets down the terminal and gently spins the cup in her hand. Do you remember the warehouse coordinates you sent to Miss Jochen? Although the time and place have been changed at the last minute, we still went to your warehouse to check things for ourselves. It was indeed full of treasures. I wonder what the brokers' reactions at the fair would be when they see something similar to their stolen cargo conveniently appearing in your warehouse. Oh. As if hearing the most amusing joke he has ever heard, Jacob leans back into his chair with a sense of relief. One can count the types of goods traded by brokers in the contamination zones on one hand. You claim that I stole them, but what evidence do you have? Are their names written on the boxes? Do they have a code we can scan? Something online, maybe? Judging by your demeanor, your owner must have bought you from the green zone. Your commander never told you this. There are no official seals, barcodes, or anything of that nature. All we have is real money, and in whose pockets they are. You're right. Rule-abiding gentlemen like you are a rare sight in the contamination zones. What do you mean by that? It's just that this is a contamination zone, and you're an underground broker. When did the contamination zones become a place that values evidence? Seeing the sudden realization in her opponent's eyes, Springfield doesn't follow up right away. Like a playful cat with its prey cornered, she now only seeks entertainment. Commander, if a court for brokers exists, you need to take me there to see what it's like. Of course, I want to witness such a once-in-a-lifetime occurrence too. Jacob sits across the table and picks up his cup in an annoyed fluster, only to realize his cup has been long emptied. It seems you finished your drink. Santaresi, please add some coffee to Mr. Jacob. I'm fine. Jacob instinctively wants to refuse, but he can't help but swallow the rest of his sentence under Springfield's smiling gaze, and watch as Santaresi approaches with the coffee pot to pour coffee into his cup. Time slows down to an unbearable crawl as the coffee slowly flows. Finally, Santaresi quietly withdraws while the petite doll brings her another pot full of freshly brewed coffee. But I think Jacob isn't in the right headspace to notice that. Mr. Jacob, I am indeed from the Green Zone, and a broker at that. My companions and I run a cafe called the Sachero. Treat us like business partners, and the Sachero will always be happy to offer you fragrant coffee. But right now, we're just tea dolls following our commander. We wouldn't mind swapping the coffee for something else. Springfield's sentence is followed by a targeting laser. Well, what? Deliberately flashing before Jacob's eyes, ultimately landing right on his temple. I feel like that's getting a bit scary now for Jacob. Jacob looks up in a panic, but the sunlight outside temporarily blinds him. After regaining his vision, he sees the maid with her downcast eyes holding the coffee pot and staring calmly at him. Further away at the bar, the petite doll with exquisite makeup draws a heart in the air with a smile. Chakri. All this makes him freeze in place. Instead of saying something, I merely pick up my coffee and take a sip. Man, everyone is so scary, man. I guess we are the bad guys. Wow. At least in this, presentation of ours. A light roast must have tasted incredibly bitter for our friend Jacob here. Jacob's laughter breaks the silence. Good job on your detective work. Since you know everything already, there's no point pretending anymore. That's right. My hands are indeed dirty. I am working with the Varjagers and using them to take out my competitors. So what? Am I at fault for that? These are the contamination zones we're talking about. It's all about the survival of the fittest. You lot and Paladitsa act so high and righteous while relying on this very same weapons and capital as I do. Easy for you to judge those at the end of their rope by your comfortable standards. You think I don't want to live morally? But the foremost thing I had to do was survive. The one thing the contamination zones have no shortage of is dead people. What's wrong with taking their stuff? Those idiots who can't be bothered to check things for themselves and blindly trust others are as good as dead too. Their stuff is better off in my hands than ending up in the jaws of the elites. I look at Jacob, who is consumed by rage and frustration, but I have no desire to argue with him. I've seen his kind more than times I can count. He's all twisted and utterly consumed by the contamination zones. While collapsed radiation physically mutates humans into mindless beasts. Desires born out of this harsh environment slowly turns them into demons. Although tragic, it is no excuse for the atrocities they've committed. Rage and survival instincts may allow one to weather the storm, but losing oneself in them will turn anyone into a monster clad in human skin. Do you think Polonitsa expected me to survive when she kicked me out of the convoy? A broke dealer with nothing to show for themselves was what I ended up becoming. I was reduced to transporting cheap goods through the terrifying contamination zone. Every day I would pray that I wouldn't run into migrating elids, collapse storms, or those jackals, for those jackals not to set their sights on me. I prayed fervently every time, but not once, not a single time, was I able to return unscathed. Something unexpected always got in the way when I tried to do anything. And so, I finally realized, if that's the rule contamination zone's gone by, then why couldn't I take advantage of it? Why not deal with the Varigers? Why not make money in that way? In a place like the Yellow Zones, wealth, power, and strength are everything. As long as the Varigers are around, my business will never be in trouble. I'll always be the first to make money and continue to rule this wasteland. As for you, Polonitsa, and all the brokers who look down on me, you will kneel and bow to me, when the muzzle of my gun is pointed right at your head. Yes, that's right. The Varigers will help me. Don't think you're a big deal just because you have a few T-dolls with you. If something happens to me, they won't leave you alone. You're all dead. I mean, we've taken out a lot of Varigers already, even a giant robot, so... like a giant mech, I'm sure we're fine. Oh. Jacob takes out his terminal, but it begins ringing even before he has time to make a call. Boss, the warehouse says the Varigers. Bang. There was a gunshot, and then the communication gets cut off. What the heck is going on? Boss, I just received news that our warehouse has been attacked by Varigers, and it seems to be more than one. Many guards have been killed. We just... What? Meanwhile, my terminal also receives a call from Groza. Commander, Brief has notified that support units are in position. Please give your orders. I look at the panicking Jacob. If you want to salvage anything from this, give me the coordinates of all the warehouses that haven't been raided yet. Oh wow. So like we're gonna help him out. So yeah, what is up with the Varigers that like attacking? Yeah, I actually don't know. We've reached the coordinates of the indicated warehouse, now sharing environmental data. There are many Varigers here, so please be careful, Commander. Yeah, data received. Let's start. I'll leave the site to you. Understood. You won't be disappointed. Yeah, you know, it is very interesting to see that... I kind of forget what I was going to say now. There was something that I wanted to say, but I just forgot right now. Oh yeah, I just remembered right now. Yeah, it is interesting that, like, you know, I imagine originally with this event, I imagine they did their proper, I'm guessing with the, with how they released the story in the units, like, they didn't release it, like, you know, days earlier, like, you know, 5 days after, I think, for the second part. But it's kind of funny, like, you know, if they release it normally with the banners, like what, like 3 weeks apart from each character in the story. During the first part, like Springfield was released, but the story mainly focused on Perry as the main character. But then during the second story here, for part 2, like Perry was released, but then I feel like the more important character from the banners has been Springfield. It's like the opposite, you know, like part 1. Perry was more important, but then you got Springfield on the banner. Then part 2, Perry's on the banner, but Springfield is more important in the story here. I'm not sure if it is the same in the Chinese version, if maybe they reversed the release. Like maybe the second part was Springfield. I feel like that makes more sense that way when it comes to the, you know, the parts in the story. I mean, in a way, Perry also feels important. It's just that, you know, when it comes to like those taking action right now, I feel like Springfield is more in taking action than Perry. Perry's kind of like stuck in a simulation. Commander, we just cleared up the Varigers at the warehouse, but they seem to have Come prepared. Most of the supplies are already gone, and we only managed to recover a small portion.
分かった
Thank you. Are the
レース
teams
参加者は無
participating
事
in the rally all right? Fortunately, due to the raids on the warehouses, the Varugers could only spare a few troops to attack the convoys.
そうか
Got it. Continue to keep in touch with Brief. Understood. But yeah, I think we'll go ahead and just end it here. Next time, we'll see this whole business here with Jacob. Yeah, that was a very good scene, man. Like, just seeing the Suchero Cafe and also the commander just like confronting Jacob here. I thought that scene was really good. It was pretty much back and forth on like trying to get the upper hand, and we eventually won. And that whole scene, man, that was really cool to see. Anyway, guys, I think I'll just go ahead and end here. That'll be for now. That's game.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good